In a quiet little town, where the morning always began with the lazy sun, lived a girl named Moon. While the other children ran around the yard, Moon preferred to sit on the grass and look at the sky. Her dark, curious eyes shone as she watched the clouds moving, changing shape as if they wanted to tell secret stories that only she understood. Moon was 7 years old, with dark, curly hair that looked like little bouncy springs, and a huge heart that beat faster whenever she thought about space. From a very young age, the night sky, sprinkled with stars, was her favorite place. Even though she could only visit it in her dreams, Moon kept a very special secret. She wanted to be an astronaut. Not only because she thought the stars were beautiful, but because she believed that space hid magical adventures, just waiting for her to discover them. In her room, there was a very well-kept treasure, a special notebook. The pages were covered with colorful drawings of rockets with bright flames, twinkling constellations, planets with big smiles, and space creatures that only existed in her imagination. It was her dream book, the place where she recorded everything she saw when she closed her eyes. But this was no ordinary notebook. Each page was, in fact, a secret door. When she opened one, Lua didn't just see a drawing. She entered the story. Lua lay down on her bed, holding her dream book tightly. As soon as she closed her eyes, a soft, warm wind enveloped her. Suddenly, she was no longer in her room, but floating through the sky on a quick and silent journey to a completely pink planet. It was the planet of floating flowers. Their giant flowers with petals of all colors floated in the air like balloons, rising and falling with the movement of a fragrant breeze. Moon walked lightly, marveling at the beauty of the place. She touched the soft petals that shone like tiny stars, illuminating her face with a gentle glow. In the center of that magical world, there was a giant tree, so large that its top was lost in the pink clouds. This tree released luminous seeds that flew into space, traveling freely as if they were small natural rockets, each carrying a promise of life for other worlds. While observing that spectacle, Moon learned an important lesson. To go far, to discover new horizons, it was necessary to let oneself be carried away by curiosity, just like those seeds that surrendered to the wind without fear. Turning an imaginary page in her mind, the landscape changed. Moon was now flying towards a silvery planet that gleamed in the distance. Upon arriving, she discovered a city where everything shone. The streets, the tall buildings, and even the wind seemed to carry particles of light. It was the city of gentle robots! Colorful robots with fun shapes walked the streets, working in perfect harmony. Some built crystal bridges, others tended gardens with metallic flowers, and many helped each other with tasks big and small. Lua watched, fascinated, as each robot, with its unique function, was an essential piece of something much bigger. Like gears in a great collective dream that kept the city running perfectly and happily. They showed Lua, without needing a single word, that teamwork makes any goal, however difficult it may seem, entirely possible. There, she learned another great lesson. No one can reach the stars alone. Each step of a great journey is built with help, learning, and above all, unity. Lua opened another page of her dream notebook and suddenly felt herself falling gently, like a feather. She landed on a planet of a deep, dark blue hue, covered by a forest that shone intensely. It was the forest of living constellations. The trees were unlike anything she had ever seen. Its branches intertwined high above, forming the constellations she loved to see in the night sky. Like the Big Dipper and the Southern Cross, illuminating the path she walked. Animals made of pure light scurried through the forest, leaving shimmering trails in the air. Star squirrels leaped from branch to branch, and luminous rabbits jumped among the tree roots. Moon decided to follow a majestic deer made of stars, which guided her along a shimmering trail to a large lake of still, mirrored water. When she approached and looked at the water, she didn't see her own reflection. Instead, she saw her future. On the surface of the lake was the image of a woman wearing a white spacesuit, with a helmet under her arm, smiling, ready to embark on a real mission. It was her, the adult Moon. With her heart full of emotion, she finally understood. Dreams show us the way, but it is up to each of us to have the courage to follow it. Lua slowly opened her eyes. She was back in her room, safe in her bed. Her dream journal lay open on her chest. She smiled, a big, sincere smile, and hugged the journal tightly. Every adventure, every planet, and every lesson had been just a figment of her imagination. But she knew one thing. Every great astronaut starts exactly like this. Imagining, drawing, and dreaming very, very big. With renewed energy, Lua jumped out of bed and ran to the backyard. She looked at the sky again, but now something had changed. She didn't just see distant stars and points of light, she saw possible destinations, paths she would one day travel, planets she would one day visit. Deep in her heart, Lua knew that her dreams were like the luminous seeds of the planet of flowers, ready to grow and fly far away, and that every time she opened her journal, a new universe would emerge. Because the journey to becoming an astronaut had already begun. It began the exact moment she believed. Every great dream is born small, inside the heart of someone who believes. And just like the moon, any child can travel beyond the stars when they nourish their dreams with courage, imagination, and hope. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to keep dreaming.